Okay, so I'm talking about feng shui, and years ago I did a pilot, and it was an awful pilot just because the filming and the editing. But the idea of the show was to show people how feng shui can help their lives, and titled it Feng Shui with Dubonnet. How horrible! But in any case, it's where I would go into someone's home. And a lot of times people say, well, I want a relationship, or I want to have, more love in my life, or I want more money, or I want to have more time with my children, or I want to travel, or whatever abundance is to you, or whatever any of the categories in life, that we all want. And we could be saying something like, I want love in my life. But if we're living at home with a garbage can in our love area, or we have our running shoes there, or our passport, and I'm thinking of a friend of mine at his home. He would say, I want a girlfriend. I'm like, no you don't, you're a player. He's like, no, I really want a girlfriend. I go, well, let me come take a look at your home. And in his love area, in his bedroom, there were his running shoes. There was in the drawer another girl's panties, an ex-girlfriend. He had a picture of Janis Joplin, which is a woman alone, and there were some other things which I won't name, but obviously they would be deterrents to a nice woman coming into his life. And he thought this was such a great idea, and we decided to do a pilot for this show. And now, this many years later, it's such a good example of how all the things we do in our lives can lead to what we finally end up doing, like our total mission. Because while feng shui isn't the only thing that I know how to do, it's such a huge part of who I am, because I know that our homes need to support who we are currently, right? Like, who I am now is different who I was last month. What I want today is different from what I wanted 2 years ago. So if we're living in the same environment or with the same things, they could be holding us back. They could be obstacles. They could be, and really, actually, we set up obstacles for ourselves. It's almost like a physical thing that when we go, oh my gosh, my garbage can is in my love area, or we can actually move the item and move away whatever energetic obstacle or belief pattern is in our way. So the physical thing is there to actually make us go, oh my gosh, look what I've done. Look what home I've chose with these particular feng shui problems. And there's always a cure. That's the really good news, is that whatever we're living with, whatever food we're eating, whatever we're thinking, there is what is called in feng shui a cure. Like, there's a way to fix it. There's a way to get the air moving through, to get the chi moving, to move the garbage can, to, if you have your toilet in your wealth area, you shut the toilet lid to keep the energy from going down the drain. If you have a fire element in your career area and there needs to be the color black, you move the fire element. There's so many cures, and it's so fascinating. So feng shui is an art and a science, and it could be really complicated, but in essence it's really simple, because it's intuitive. It's like, well, if you are sitting with your back to the door and your desk is facing the wall and the door is behind you, do you kind of have that creepy feeling that someone could surprise you? Someone could, like, in essence, stab you in the back, or someone's going to surprise you. So you can't really focus on your work if you have that feeling that somebody might come in behind you. It's like common sense things like that. Like, your bed needs to have you need to have some vision of the door so that you aren't surprised. That if someone's coming in, things like that. I was talking with Lisa about food. It's like, the food could be really complicated. Indian food could be really complicated. Of course, there's 4,000 years of intrigue and medicine and to back it up, and yet the basic essence of making Indian food, I found out, is the oil in a pan with the mustard seeds, with some cumin seeds, with some garlic, Hing, the asafoetida, which I never knew of before last month, but asafoetida is a very smelly, beautiful substance that you only need this much of, which leads me to tell you that the cures in feng shui, or the changes we need to make in our life, don't have to be grand, to be monumental. You don't need to have like a really expensive something in your wealth area, but something precious, something little. The littlest of changes can make the biggest impact in our life. So just like we move something in our home, we move that trash can out of our love area or out of our wealth area, or we make that one smoothie, that we know in just that one area of our life, we've taken care of ourselves, so that subliminally we've said to ourselves, we've taken care of ourselves today. And you know what that makes us do? That makes us take care of ourselves the next meal, and then the next meal. And then if we don't, and we go back and we eat something we used to eat that we don't want to eat anymore, we feel it. If we all of a sudden go, oh my gosh, I can't believe I placed an obstacle in my way again, we just know for sure the next time it doesn't serve us. So we go a little forward, we go a little back. And so this all started because I was talking about my history, my past, and feng shui, and how I love it so much. And actually yesterday I got out of bed, and I could have been depressed because my daughter's in Florida, 3,000 miles away, and I thought, I'm going to get up and move some energy. I'm going to get rid of some things that no longer serve me, that don't fit who I am currently as a woman who's going to be traveling a lot and sharing with people out of the kitchen. And so it excited me to actually tend to my life as who I am right now, and get in the mode of decluttering and freshening and moving energy. So that was Feng Shui with Dubonnet. And now I was telling Lisa, I could go into someone's home and help them with the obstacles that are around their home. And how about the kitchen? How about not needing the waffle maker anymore, or getting rid of the things that aren't making us the food that we need to eat now? So if I were to do a show now, if I were going to have a pilot, it would be part helping people with their homes, like a surprise element, like, okay, I'm at your door and you can get ready. Maybe this happened to my friend Magda in London. I said, I'm coming to London, and in Magda's head, I was coming to her home. She wanted to invite me over for lunch or tea or something, and so all of a sudden Magda's thinking, oh my gosh, DARA'S coming. I better start decluttering. I thought, isn't that a great thing? Like, what if people thought I was coming to their house next week? Everyone would just start decluttering. And the thing is, it's like, you feel so light. When you get rid of things that no longer serve, you actually can lose weight. You feel lighter, you feel so good. And doing that breeds more doing that. And I really do believe that objects can weigh us down. So like this one little cup that I love, I'm keeping it. But if there was another cup I didn't love, well, I say, well, I just keep it, it's just a cup. But then I keep this other cup, and then another thing, and before you know it, you have a box of things. So like this one thing does make a difference. That one thing that you think you're ignoring, that you think isn't speaking to you, it is. Because whether you're listening or not, the broken thing is speaking to you. Whether you're listening or not, the thing that your old boyfriend gave you, the one who broke your heart, it's still there. That sadness is residing in that thing. So I've learned a lot of lessons throughout the years through my grandmother's passing and my mother's passing. And I know that, I was telling Lisa, we're having this great conversation, and I said, do people really need to hold on to that pair of shoes from Paris that they never wore or they're never going to wear? And no, I mean, if it could make you happier to let go of that pair of shoes, wouldn't you let go of it? If it could make you, it's almost hard to describe, and yet it's so simple. When my mom was passing, and she had this shoe rack on her door, and I was helping her to get better, I hoped. There were some nights where I didn't know whether I was helping to lighten her load for her passing or lighten her load so actually she could feel healthy. And I said, Mom, do you want these shoes? And she said, oh, yes. And I put them back, of course. So you have to respect everybody's wishes, but I thought she's never going to wear those shoes. And after she passed, I got rid of the shoes. And what if those shoes, if she had gotten rid of the shoes and the this thing and the that thing, kept her healthier and happier? And I really do believe that if you let go of the things, you will be healthier and happier. And how do I know that? I don't know. I just do. I know that partly because when she bought her house down the shore, it was empty. It only had the things she needed. It's almost like living in the most simplest way possible. And she relaxed, and she read, and she had a beautiful time with Herbie. And Then I went to visit her again, and she was sick this time. She had a brain tumor. And I looked at the house and I thought, what happened? And what happened was the house up north sold, so they moved all the stuff from up north down south. And the house was no longer light, and she was no longer healthy, and she was no longer happy. And to me, it's a direct correlation. So if you can bear to part with the things, what's more important? The thing, the gown you'll never wear, the fur coat you'll never wear, or your health and your happiness? Clearly, health and happiness. So I don't know, that was a long rant on a very, I don't know, on what would I do? This is it. What would I do with a show? I would go into people's homes and I would help them with their kitchens. I would help them intuitively. For some reason, I can walk into someone's home and see where the energy's stuck. It's just a thing that I have. I don't do feng shui in a mechanical way. It's it's intuitive, I would say. And then I would I'd show people that it's possible to be vegan or to be out in the world in a healthy way. So like we have all the recipes we need now, and now how do you go out and be out in the world? So I think this show, if we were to take it on the road, would be part visiting people's homes, helping them, showing that it's possible, and then talking about all the different things, the why nots, right? Like why is this food or this way of life, why do some people consider it to be a deprivation? That's like a whole other subject in itself. It's another book. It's like a documentary. Why would anybody think that eating food that's organic with no pesticides, straight from the ground, straight from a tree, untouched by man pretty much, unless it's processed in your own kitchen, why would, and we should probably shut the camera and start it over again, but this, I'm going to leave you with this one thought. Why would someone ask me, do you ever cheat? Cheating myself would be eating food with pesticides. Cheating myself would be eating something or living in a way that would make me feel bad after doing something or eating something. For me, it's the ultimate luxury and privilege to have the time to declutter, to have the knowingness that letting go brings opportunities, and to eat food of the highest order is a total luxury and a privilege. So like from the simplest thing, from taking my time to find the best food and then carefully preparing the food and serving it with love, who wouldn't want to eat that? Anything less is deprivation in my opinion. So there you have it. I'm done.